Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Today we are going to discuss grade 10th CBSE poem The Trees by Adrian Rich. It is a deeply symbolic poem and we can't appreciate it unless we understand the symbols used by the poet in it. House, trees and the forest, they are the three symbols that are used by the poet. The house has been used as a symbol of human society in which men and women should both live together. Trees are usually associated with beauty, charm, sweetness, shelter, and regeneration. All these traits are true of women also. The poet has therefore used trees as symbols of women. And the forests have been used as the symbol of men. Men, like forests, are also known for their usefulness, being rugged and lack any order. The poet has therefore used forests as the symbols of men. The poet has in fact observed a society where men have dominated all the spheres outside the house. Women merely as domestic chattel. She compares such a world to a forest that is without trees. She finds no beauty, grace, or music in such a world. It is all dark and dull. However, she expresses satisfaction to see that trees, women, have started moving out into the forest, into the world of men. She hopes that this movement will add cheer, music, and beauty to the forest that had been desolate so far. In other words, the poet notes with satisfaction that women have begun to have equal rights with men. So let's understand the poem in detail. We're going to start with the first stanza. The trees that were inside have started moving out into the forest. This is unrealistic as trees are immovable, and hence we realize that this poem, it has a symbolic meaning. Women who used to be confined to their homes have now begun to move into the outside world that had so far been dominated by men. It was like a forest that had been empty all these days. There were no trees where birds or insects could hide. And in fact, there was no sun that could cast its lovely shadows beneath the trees. The forests had been empty during all these dark nights, but now it will soon be morning and the forest will become full of trees. In other words, women will make their presence felt in the world of men. Now let's understand the second stanza. In the second stanza, the poet creates beautiful word pictures to describe the state of women who had been struggling to gain freedom from their domestic prisons. Symbolically, the struggle done by the plants to reach the forest. They were struggling to disengage their roots from the old domestic floors. Their leaves were trying to stretch themselves to the side of the window glass. Their twigs had become stiff due to constant exertion. Their boughs had become cramped because of shuffling long under the roof. They looked like newly discharged patients from a clinic or a hospital. They looked dead while looking out of the clinic door. All these word pictures vividly describe the state and struggle of women for liberty, for freedom. So now let's understand the third stanza. The poet herself was a crusader for the rights of women. She contributed in this struggle through her writings. She never wrote against men. She hardly ever blamed men for the sad state of women. The poet says that she is sitting in her veranda writing long letters. To a large extent, women themselves had confined themselves to their homes. But now the night was going to end. It was no longer dark. The moon was shining in the open sky. The smell of leaves and flowers was inviting women to come out of their rooms and enjoy the air of freedom. So now let's understand the fourth stanza. Here the poet gives a call to the women to come out of their homes and enjoy the air of freedom. She in her head has lots of suggestions for them, but she may not live long to convey them through her writings. The poet asks the reader to listen carefully as a change is about to take place. She says that some of the trees, women, have already started moving out of the house. They have broken their traditional chains. They are moving forward in the night. They are not yet certain where they would reach, but they have begun to experience the freshness of air. The moon in the sky fills them with a bright hope. It looks like a broken mirror as seen through the crown of a tall oak tree. So that's all about this poem, where we learn a lot about women's society, tree, forests. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you like, share and subscribe the video. Thank you. Bye-bye.